Don't let this nonchalant person fool you with this energy of fox into thinking that they don't have feelings for you or they just want something casual, because it feels like the absolute opposite is the case. I'm hearing way in over my head, and so it feels like, emotionally speaking, this person has caught feelings. Those feelings have come on deep, they have come on strong, they have come on fast, and they feel very out of their element. Maybe in terms of just the nature of how these feelings have come on, what those feelings are exactly, especially if it's early on in your connection. It's kind of like, whoa, let me pump the brakes in this situation and get my bearings, because it feels like going with the flow state, surrendering to these feelings, it's going to bring me out of my element. I'm going to have to relinquish my need to control outcomes in order to capitalize on the utmost potential within the situation. This may also be something that you have like pried the lock off of this person's heart space just with your presence through the experiences that you've had with one another, and this has really caught them off guard. It's really caught them by surprise. I'm also hearing love at first sight, so that could definitely apply with this energy of fox, where right from the beginning they felt something for you. They felt a lot. And as time has gone on, whether you have a lot of communication with one another or there are periods of silence, it's like those feelings have been turned on. That tap has been opened, and they are flowing forth and increasing exponentially at a very rapid pace. And it's something where it is causing this person to sort of feel like, is this love? Is it too soon for this to be love? What is this that I am experiencing at this point in time? Because it feels so good, and yet it feels so out of my element or out of my comfort zone, or not what I was expecting to happen in quite this way with you specifically, or just in general at this point in my life. So it feels like they're kind of like putting on a poker face. They're either silent, completely silent at this point in time, kind of like watching from the shadows, sort of lurking around. Or this could be something that if you have interactions with one another, they are, just very kind of like to the point. They're very business oriented, maybe sort of like brisk responses, very surface level communication, like avoiding the topic of emotions altogether. But there's something where you might almost feel a lot of nervous tension between you and this person. They may feel very like nervous or very uneasy in your presence. You might have internalized that to be like, okay, do they not like me? Did they hear something bad about me? Is there, do I have something on my shirt? Do I have something in my teeth? Am I not like presenting something right? Because it felt like we had so much to work with in the beginning, or it felt like there was a spark, it felt like there was something, and now they've done a complete change in their approach. They are taking a different stance, and that may be very palpably sensed by you. And so don't read too much into that. Again, like, don't let this person fool you or confuse you into thinking that this is somebody who is just trying to like shake this connection off or is totally disinterested in you, because instead this is something where this person is like, I want a piece of the action with you. I want to move forward in that direction of feelings, but I don't quite know how. This is something that has taken me by surprise. And so it feels like the only thing that they could do at this particular moment in time is kind of just try to internalize that sense of panic. And it feels like panic is almost the sense of like, wow, is this my wish fulfillment? Is this that love that I have been praying for? Is this the time where like my single era ends? Or, kind of all those sort of like mismatched people that I was with in the past? Is this the end of that type of experience, that chapter of my reality? Is this the dawning of a new day with somebody that is going to be in my life in a long-term sense? Is this my forever person? Is this my permanent connection? Is this my future spouse? And this is somebody that it feels like they are well aware that they've given you some kind of mixed signal. They know that they can't hide this kind of like nervousness very well. And so there may also be something where they're trying to be very sort of like cautious in their interactions with you, because they don't want to kind of like convey the wrong thing. They don't want you to get the wrong idea any more than you may already have with them. But again, this is somebody that's kind of like they're looking at those feelings very directly. It's kind of like, what do I do in this situation? Yeah, we have the sun. So this is a very positive omen. This is something that indicates, as much as there may be kind of a lot of uncertainty, a lot that is veiled at this particular point in time, that this person is kind of like hiding their feelings, they're veiling that truth from you, they will provide illumination. The sun will come out in this connection. You will see the light as they reveal it to you, or rather, like they are seeing the light, that this is too rare and unique of an experience and an opportunity to just pass it by. There's almost a sense of like these feelings that they have for you have come on so strong, so intensely, that they can't outrun them. They can't sufficiently kind of like turn away from that. They can't turn a blind eye to this reality. You've come into their life and you have shaken everything up in the best possible way. And it feels like this is something that these feelings or your presence or your energy is very confrontational to them, because it is helping them to see kind of like you are a very bright presence in their reality. The feelings that they have for you, even if they've come on very strong and very suddenly, it feels a lot better than maybe like loneliness or disappointment that they'd been feeling before. And so it's almost like this is somebody that's at a crossroads. They know that there's the option: take action or just sit in this energy of like bottled up truth. And the preferable route, what is very clearly illuminated for this person, is that like letting these feelings be known, sharing these things, taking that step forward, even if it comes out in kind of a, sort of stuttering sort of way. They're not kind of coming forth very confidently. They're just sort of being themselves. They're letting that truth sort of spill out. If there's awkwardness with that, at least it's a step in the direction of not continuing to sort of feed into an impression they have given you that they didn't mean to give you, that it's like they're not interested, because there's almost a sense of like your light feels so coaxing to them, so warm, so inviting. It is like drawing them in. They can't escape kind of like your presence. Your energy lingers. It follows them. It's something that they feel very deeply inside. This person has also been kind of imagining what the future could look like with you, what it could be like to be loved by someone like you, what it could feel like to have a romantic relationship with someone like you, what it could feel like to grow old with someone like you, to watch time pass with someone like you, to have experiences in life with someone like you. And that feels to be something that is far more of the preferable option than the idea of like them leaving themselves out in the cold by not speaking their truth and by not taking action. We also have bear. So again, this is somebody that has been playing their cards very close to their chest. This is somebody that it feels like they are trying to protect the future potential between the two of you by trying to almost convince themselves that they need to like reach a place of certainty so that they don't kind of like misstep, so that they don't kind of like overpromise and underdeliver as far as this connection is concerned. There's almost a sense of like, if this is true, if this is real, if this is something that's meant to be, it can survive this period of time where I have to just kind of like regroup. I have to get my bearings. I have to sit in the midst of the reality that this is intense. This is powerful, this connection between the two of us. And I'm never going to feel completely ready. And the best approach is like we just learn how to navigate this as we go. This is somebody that wants to emerge. They want to come out of hiding, but they are trying their best to try and like steady their nerves, or in some sort of way convince themselves that perhaps even like the authentic approach, just kind of like laying it on strong to you, just kind of like telling everything, like diving all the way into this connection, that is not something that is going to like scare you off, that is not something that is going to be displeasing to you. This may be somebody in the past, like past relationships, when they had tried to show up as their full self, they might have been dealing with partners that were very emotionally unavailable. So people they tried to give their love to kind of like pushed them away or backed off the more that they like made efforts. And so this has created like a bit of kind of self-consciousness within this person when it comes to feelings, sort of like, I don't know, like it's one thing for me to trust my feelings, but I don't know if these feelings or the way in which I express love, the love languages that come naturally to me, I don't know if these are things that are right or good, or if there's a brokenness with that, if it's anything that anybody wants. And so they're trying to like bring themselves out of a place of being very timid about that, and kind of just letting that truth roar. Yeah, we've got ship. So this is somebody that wants to go the distance with you. They want to speak on these emotions. They want to pick up the pace of conversations, or they want to, begin talking again. This is not somebody that just wants to kind of like get stuck in a sad or outdated loop or pattern with you. There may be something where, you've been kind of like given no choice in this circumstance except for to kind of regroup yourself, set your sights towards other things, other situations. Like, well, I guess they're not interested. I guess this is as far as we go. I guess this is their threshold, and this is where I leave off because I want more. I deserve more. I bring more to the table, and I demand more in return from the people that I am entertaining as romantic possibilities. This person is aware of that like time is of the essence, time is running out, that the feelings that they have for you continue to grow, they continue to deepen, they continue to pull this person back around to the reality that speaking that truth, again, even if it comes out different than how they plan it, how they map it out, that is the important thing. Laying it all out on the table, and then the two of you can chart a course forward in the direction of like what comes next. What are the next steps that need to take place in order to, kind of like rebuild trust, or, to kind of soften any guards that have gone up within each of you, in order to provide the kind of reassurances that when this person makes that emotional declaration, when they speak that truth, when they send that message, when they, ask them to get together with you, or you have that face-to-face encounter, you have that phone call, whatever that looks like, that it's something where it's not just a one-off experience, but it represents a first step in an entirely new direction with one another, something where you can both go the distance to help each other to kind of move through the turbulence of uncertainty and enjoy the times where it's smooth sailing. Yeah, we have flowers. So this person definitely wants to kind of like add sweetness into the situation, to offset any kind of like sourness, like a sour mood, or, something where they've been kind of like salty, they've been kind of cold, they've been sort of brisk with you, they've shut the door to communication, or something that they said that it was like miscommunicated, something where they were almost just like very tense, very nervous, things came out wrong, they withheld truths, or, jumped to conclusions about certain things that you said. And there was just kind of like an inability to kind of see eye to eye at a certain point. This has not dissuaded them from wanting to try again, wanting to, move to the next phase with you to see like, what do we need to do in order to soften the situation? What do I need to do to show you that I am willing, I'm ready, I'm excited to kind of like sit in that heart space and take this leap of faith forward no matter what comes in the situation. It might be all new territory for me, the intensity of that, the way in which your energy perfumes my reality even when you are miles away, or time has passed between our interactions with one another. This is something that I can't ignore. This is something rare, this is something beautiful, this is something that I want to seize the moment with. I want to provide you with reassurances that I don't have all the answers, but I want to figure it out with you. And book. Yeah, so this is somebody that doesn't just want to come in the nonchalant energy. They know that a nonchalant, cold, kind of like, short and sweet sort of approach to the situation so far, it has not yielded the results, or kind of like the level of comfort or understanding between the two of you that is necessary for something that can go the distance or has staying power. So this is somebody that it feels like they're getting ready to express more, and there's a fear, kind of like if I say too much, if I say too little, they're trying to fine tune and perfect that, trying to sort of script inside, like what would I say, how would I approach, how would I explain myself, how would I get that conversation started again, what are the next steps from that? If it's something where you're not automatically warm and receptive, what do I do then? And I'm hearing worse yet, if you are warm and receptive, what do I do then? Because it feels like that was something that presented as a kind of a problem or a blind spot, or like a trigger moment for this person, is just how receptive you were, just how well things were going, just how easy it was to connect with you or talk to you, or have encounters with you. And that sort of freaked them out, kind of like, am I missing something here? Is this too good to be true? Like, when's the rug going to be pulled out from under me? And so they're well aware that it's kind of like their fault that things have sort of fallen apart, or have become a little dissatisfying as far as that communication is concerned. And so this is somebody that doesn't expect you to do the work of explaining. It's kind of somebody that might be like, just hear me out, just listen to what I have to say, and then please respond if you want to. Just listen to what I have to say. Take some time to think about it if you need to, but I need you to know I'm serious. I need you to know this comes from a place of authenticity. I need you to know that this comes from the heart. And it's a lot more words and a lot more promises that they want to make that they intend to keep. Little baby steps forward that they are hoping will kind of lead to an understanding on your part that although they are, absolutely kind of like terrified and completely excited and enthralled by the nature of these feelings that they have for you, they're not exactly sure what to do, if their next approach or kind of like the next phase, if it's going to make matters worse or make matters better. But this is somebody that's like, I don't want our story to end here. I don't want this to just be kind of that missed opportunity, that failure to launch, that kind of like moment in time that could have been different, should have been different, would have been different if only I'd done the following things. They've run that kind of repeating broken sad record over and over again in their mind for a while. And so the heart, it feels like, has intervened in this situation and is like, look, you can sit here and just kind of keep replaying this, keep moving back and forth between that sense of like, I feel so much, but I'm so scared to take a step forward, and the fear of like missing out on an opportunity with you, and yet at the same point in time, drawn back, magnetized into your light, into the warmth and authenticity that you radiate. Or you could take a leap of faith forward, even if it doesn't come out perfect, even if it's something where, your speech that you have planned out, you stutter, you stumble, you kind of misspeak, and you need to course correct, even if it's something that, you're intending to like, okay, I'm just going to burst through that door and I'm going to speak my truth, and everything's going to be worked out. I'm going to take the lead in this situation and we will move on into calmer waters. And it doesn't exactly turn out that way, where it's kind of a process of negotiations between the two of you, or not knowing what they're going to sort of find when they come into that space very directly with you. Despite all the variables, their heart is encouraging them to just do it, just speak that truth, just say something, just do something, so that they don't just become somebody that again is kind of like out in the cold because of their own sort of fears and insecurity. Because the bottom line is, despite all of those things that might have created miscommunications or kind of an approach with this person that is now translated into like nonchalant, where you've been given every indicator of like, I don't think this is somebody that wants to continue forth, I don't think this is somebody that's interested. Maybe this person kind of like confused their feelings for me with feelings for someone else. Maybe the wires got crossed somewhere, or I said or I did something that wasn't pleasing, wasn't what they wanted, and this is how they handled things, kind of just stonewalling or ghosting, or kind of like shutting off. Aside from all of that, beyond all of that, this is somebody that in fact does have very deep, very sweet, very intense feelings for you. And it's taking a lot of effort and a lot of courage on their part to just find a way to kind of break the ice between the two of you, so that you can hopefully have kind of like a next opportunity with one another, or sort of meet at this point where there's been a bit of awkwardness, and hopefully sort of set forth into a better direction with one another. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. Like or comment to claim these energies. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more content that I put out here. Don't forget to hit the bell button to get notifications every time I post a new video. And if you would like to book a personal reading with me, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link for that below. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.